Welcome, everybody. It's a glorious day in November. I'm wearing my little tan hoodie, got my hockey hat on because it's the fall time. It's hockey season. Even though I'm in North Carolina, it's 67 degrees right now, but it's okay. It's a cool breeze outside, so I'll wear the hoodie today. Welcome, everyone. Then I have my two jabroni friends from Pennsylvania. And somebody said seeing snow in November is a trigger for me. So, Pat, could you explain that to me, please? Let's start off with this. What is snow triggering for you?
So, 2018, I
Okay.
think it was.
Was the last time we had actually decent snowfall in North Carolina, but continue.
Yeah, hold on real quick. I gotta look something on my Facebook memories. This will help me figure out. Yes,
No.
2018, 2018.
Okay. All right.
Um, November of 2018, I had to go to New York City for a 3-day training thing. Um,
Shindig. All right, let's go.
yeah.
New
So
York.
I was so like, it was a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I drove to the city on Monday night, checked into the hotel that the company was paying for, and then um it ended on Thursday, and then went home on Thursday. Well, that Thursday, I don't remember the exact date now, but I know it was 2018, was when we got that November blizzard, as it was
Ah,
basically called.
and you drove to the city.
No,
Bless
I
your
was driving
soul.
home from the city.
Bless your
I
soul
remember the
still.
tech. I remember him telling us about this.
Yes, and so I was on the road for like 8 hours, what should have been like a 2 hour at most trip, you know, if it hadn't been
A
snowing and everything.
3 hour tour.
Yeah,
A three
there you
hour
go.
tour.
There
When
you
he's
go.
almost stuck on Gilligan's Island.
So I was watching the Notre Dame Navy game last night, and it was raining when the game was being played, and my sister and brother-in-law came home, and my brother-in-law looked at the TV and goes, "Is that snow?" I said, "No, no, 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 that's just rain," which it was at the time, and then about an hour later, it had changed to snow,
Really?
and
And were they
so.
in?
And then, so like I shouted down to him. I said, "Hey, now it's snowing at the Notre Dame game."
Were they playing in Notre Dame?
Yes, it was at Notre Dame. So
Yes, because we're getting that Arctic weather first before, because we're gonna
yeah, I
feel it
mean,
down here
and because of
tomorrow.
because of Notre Dame's proximity to Lake Michigan and everything, you get the
Mhm.
so-called lake effect snow,
Which is real.
which was always funny because my mother, bless her heart, for the longest time until I went to Notre Dame, was under the impression that lake effect snow meant you got like a dusting, like it was flurries. It's like, no, that's not what lake effect snow is.
I've lived it. No, not even close. I
Yeah,
wish it was.
so yeah, so I'm like, it was, it's all that kind of shit. So yeah, it was snowing. It wasn't really sticking even towards the end of the game. Like I think maybe the grass was starting to look a little whiter, maybe like it was sticking slightly, but it was mainly it was just coming down, and everything.
It made it look
So
pretty.
yeah, so I'm just like, oh my God, snow in November, snow in November. No, no, I'm not going through this again. No, I'm not going anywhere. I don't have to drive it. It's not snowing here, but snow in November. No,
Now, see, you know what's gonna happen to you now?
What's
no.
gonna happen to him?
When you have your thing done, there's gonna be a blizzard, and you're gonna be stuck there for
You
an
know
extra couple
what?
days.
You know what? In the words of the late great Michael Clark Duncan, okay? Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
That's what's gonna happen to you now.
Better not, because that's still before Christmas. So I mean, that kind of shit
I
better
never
not happen.
realized. I never realized how close Indiana is. I mean, not Indiana. Sorry. Of course, Indiana is close to Michigan. Um, I meant to say Notre Dame
Oh
is to
boy.
Michigan. They are very close to the border there up in South Bend. I didn't
Hmm.
realize how far up they are in Indiana. 'Cause they're on
Yep.
that
You
stupid thumb
can
of Michigan there.
you
They're
can
really close to
visit
the
you
thumb,
can
the
visit
dumb
Indi
thumb.
you can visit Notre Dame if you're driving on 80.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like you see like a thing like you see like one of those like maps of the United States. It's like color in all the states that you have been to. And for me, it's always like, okay, every state along the East Coast except for Maine and Rhode Island. I've been in Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. And then I can also color in West Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, and Michigan because back in 1998, when we went out to visit my aunt and uncle for a week after they had moved to Indiana, which is also what got me started on going to Notre Dame in the first place, we went to this park. I guess you could say it was. It was like, and it was like Lake Michigan. Like you go swim in the lake in the
Oh,
lake
okay.
and everything. It was a fairly busy thing. It was a really nice day, as I recall, and everything. But it was in Michigan, so it was like that's the
Okay.
one and only time.
I've been to Michigan.
Actually, no, I lie now. I flying back from Notre Dame once on either fall break or Christmas break or whatever. I had to do a changeover in Detroit. So 2 times I've been to Michigan.
Detroit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, either time I flew from South Bend to Allentown, which of course there are no direct flights because there are not major cities, I had to have a changeover each time. Once was in Detroit, once was in Pittsburgh. So
Shittsburg.
Shittsburg.
so yes, those are
There's
my
the Philly fan coming out of Jeremy right there.
those are my lone forays into the state of Michigan, and I have never been further west than either of those places.
Well, now that you brought that up, I'm going to bring up the map of the United States and see where I've gone.
I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere.
I can tell you where I've been. I've had layovers in Chicago O'Hare. Airport's a monstrosity.
That's as bad as
Even back
Atlanta.
then, we're talking, boy, late 80s, early 90s, and it was already a monstrosity at that.
No,
point.
it was bad back then.
The busiest airport I've ever been to was Orlando. So
Yeah, Orlando's pretty busy, but Chicago definitely. It's just because of where Chicago's
O'Hare and Atlanta are super busy that I've been to.
Yeah.
Yeah, Atlanta because it's like an international hub and everything. So
yeah, and O'Hare is just when you fly into O'Hare, you're like, okay, which side of the West Coast am I going? Where am I going to the West Coast? That's like the West Coast like stop off point. But yeah, I've technically been in Chicago, just not like traveled around Chicago.
It's all good.
Washington State, been there. Been to Texas, been to Oklahoma.
Oh,
he's been to the
my God, he's been to Oklahoma. My God.
I was there for a wedding. Funny enough, I was there for a wedding. Texas was for a wedding too.
Sassafras.
Florida, I think everybody's been to Florida.
Mostly, yeah.
South Carolina. I've driven through a lot of states, but I'm not going to count the states that I've drove through. That's just lame.
No, see, I do. Like I don't like. Well, I'm because, like I said, Georgia. The only time I think I was ever actually in Georgia was when we drove to Florida back in 1990. But I don't know if we ever actually got out of the car in Georgia. We may have just.
Usually, those states I've never been in before that I go to. Like I try to make a pit stop somewhere like at one of the stations you pull off at, the rest or take a pee or get gas or something, find a Buc-ee's on the East Coast.
Yeah, so let's see. So South Carolina. Let's see. Now we're going more north. Let's see. Delaware, Maryland, Jersey, dirty Jersey, New York. Been to Ohio. That might be it. Because I haven't gone any further north than New York right now.
So I've been
Yeah,
Massachusetts. I went to Massachusetts, New York State, Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia, live in NC, South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, Georgia, Florida. Just had been to Nevada a couple times for Vegas, things for work. Had a layover in Denver, Colorado. So into Colorado, of course, I'm originally from Chicago, so Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, Wisconsin, I've been to that crappy state, but they do have nice family summer things that I did when I was a kid, like Nippersink and whatnot. Trying to think. I think that's really it. Dirty Jersey. Mentioned that crap place. Okay. I mean, you count Washington, D.C., but that's like its own thing
I
in
count that as
Maryland.
part of Maryland.
Yeah. Trying to think anywhere else. No, I think those are the places of states I've been.
When you're just a city, I don't give you another. I don't count you as a state.
It's just weird with Washington, D.C. the way it is. It's set up. It's so weird. But okay, that's where I've been.
Um,
I'm not sure if I've ever technically been to
I
DC
did forget to
or not.
Virginias. I've been to both Virginias.
One is vastly superior to the other.
Depends what topic you're talking about.
This day and age, all.
Do not
Oh.
make fun of the mountain folk in West Virginia.
I'm not making fun of the mountain folk in West Virginia. I'm making fun of all of them.
You're like the hell with it. I'm making fun of them all. So the other thing I do now, and this might sound weird, but I don't care. So every
I
state
say that's never stopped you before.
that's really true. That's true. But I do try to collect Starbucks mugs from every state that I travel to.
Talking about Starbucks bullshit.
Yes. So
Did
when I
you
was
see the
in,
people crying online about not getting the bear glass?
no, they had a
Oh
special
my.
they had a special class that came out.
Yeah, they had a special glass that came out. It was either Wednesday or Thursday it came out.
I
And
missed that.
people got up before the stores opened and got in line so that they could get the mug when the cup or the glass, whatever the fuck it's called, at 5 a.m. when Starbucks opened and got their coffee.
Mhm.
And workers were let in early, and some of the workers bought all the stock
Mhm.
of all the
Of
special
course they did.
things.
Mhm.
And some stores only had one
Oh,
glass,
Mhm.
and some stores had no glasses.
Mhm.
I'm
Mhm.
like, who
Mhm.
lines up at Starbucks at
Mhm.
4:30 in the morning to get a goddamn glass?
Mhm. Mhm.
because it's collector's edition, and you want to know why? The 2023 version is on eBay right now for almost $600.
I was gonna say if you're hearing that like all the employees were buying up all the stock or whatever, it's like I was gonna say just go to eBay right now and see how much they're going for because I'm sure that's what they were doing.
And it
Yeah.
wasn't they were
I
buying
mean, it's
they were buying the glasses, these bear glasses, as well as like some of the other special promotion stuff that they put out for their Christmas line. That's what really had people upset. You should stop buying. You're buying in everything, and now we can't buy anything. It's like, why are you wasting your money on this shit?
a collector's item.
I mean, people,
So
yes,
it's $30. So it's a 20-ounce glass cup features a green beanie cap as a lid and a white striped straw and retails for $29.95. And it has Starbucks written on the beanie cap, and he has a little Starbucks logo on his belly. Well,
Yeah.
looks like he's holding a
You know what I
cup
saw
per
people
se in
doing to
his
make
belly.
it's funny. You know what I saw people doing to make fun of the Starbucks people is either going to Walmart because Walmart has the same exact style like glass, it's a bear glass, except it doesn't say Starbucks on any of its
Mhm.
Starbucks special things, or emptying out their bear honey jars that they have and making coffee in those. It's like touche.
It's just like the Stanley mugs. Like they have special editions that they do at Target, and people lose their fucking mind. They're trying to get there early when the store opens to run in there and grab their Stanley mug, their Stanley mug things. And once it's out, they're like, "Do you have any more to back?" No, those stores only get like 2, 3 cases depending on the volume of the store. And once they're gone, they're gone. They're not getting any more.
I
So
just
it's crazy.
like I've never so
Hey,
and it's hard for me to understand. And people are like, "How do you not get this?" You know, this is why. I'll explain. Because I have never put that much value into things that can break or things that are to me not worth it. Like I have never been one of those people that stood in line for the PlayStations or the Xboxes or the Wii's and all the Nintendo
Oh
different
yeah, I
systems.
get that.
I have never done that. And I will
Sneakers.
to this day not do sneakers. I will not do any of that stuff. It is not worth it. Like there is nothing on this earth that is materialistic that I need to have and get in possible fights with people for. It is not that important in life.
Remember the Tickle Me Elmo back in the day?
Oh my god, people went fucking insane for that shit.
I worked at Kmart.
That tickles. Okay, I'll stop.
I
It's
worked
like
at Kmart back in the day when that thing fucking came out on 25th Street in Easton. Oh my God. They were like, Joe, get ready. They were telling all of us, they're like, took a Elmo. We have them all stocked on the shelves. It's like, whatever we have in the shelves, that's what it is. There's no more in the back. I'm like, and we had all of them out. I think we had like when you walked out, say like you're walking down an aisle in like Walmart, half that aisle, top shelf to bottom shelf, was all Tickle Me Elmos. So
and they
my
were
manager
gone by
Dave
the end of
was
the day.
they were like gone within the hour. Like manager Dave was like over there and trying to like everyone was only supposed to get one, I think was the thing, the Kmart rule. So you try to make sure people were already grabbing one and all that stuff. So yeah, it was a pleasantly fun shit show. It wasn't
Yeah,
as bad as I thought it was gonna be, but it was bad enough. Yeah, it
yeah,
was a
like I
bit
said,
crazy.
there are people, working when I worked at Champs as a young adult. Um, you young adult.
Oh, you just used the word young
Uh,
adults. Oh, showing your age.
um,
Jeremy was never
it
ready
was the
for
same
trouble.
thing. People would come in, hey, you guys getting those new Jordans? The Jordan 13s with whatever shoe was coming out. Yeah, we're gonna have them. How many pair are you gonna have? We'll have one of every size except for like tens. We'll have probably two tens and two eights. Because they would always stock us with extra pair usually because. And with the Jordans, we probably got maybe two cases, so we'd have two of every size, maybe four of the tens and eights, because those were the sizes that were the most popular sizes. And like, oh man, what time you guys open? Mall opens at this time. We open when the mall opens, and you'd have people out there. Not a lot usually, but you'd have your customers that were like, gotta have the Jordans. Like as soon as they dropped, it's like,
Yeah.
ugh, like craziness, man. Like I said, I don't get it. I've never been one of those people that needs something that bad that I have to have it on the first day. Have there been things that I've seen that are coming out, and I'm like, man, I would still love to have that, but knowing that there's going to be 9,000 other people that want the same damn thing, I'm not willing to go do it. Like I'll pay the extra $20 now. It's probably like 60, 70, $80, maybe 100 extra for people selling it on fucking resale sites. Um, or just wait till it comes back in stock the second time and get it then. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Black Friday. I always loved going Black Friday shopping. Me and
I'll
Marlon,
punch a motherfucker in the face.
me and Marlon, man, we used to always meet up, go Black Friday shop. I used to do it by myself for a couple years. I didn't care. I used to go out to Reading, the Reading outlets back in the day, go there and get like clothes for certain people, because they had good sales. I love driving out there and then going to the malls and the other places, trying to get, certain things.
That's
I circled off on my Black Friday for Christmas. And of course, I, get some stuff for myself as well, always. But
yeah.
yeah, I was always a big Black Friday person. I loved it. It never bothered me, like the
Yeah,
crowds.
that's my wife's thing. She loves Black Friday shopping. It's different now than what it used to be because you don't
Oh,
have the
100%.
crazy sales at midnight or at 4 a.m. Well, actually, it used to be like 4 a.m. when it used to start, like 4 a.m., 5 a.m.
And then
You
they
don't have any
pushed
of
it to
that.
like midnight and like it was starting to interfere with like people's Thanksgiving dinners and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
because then
Yeah.
they started opening stores on Thanksgiving at like 8 o'clock on Thanksgiving. She's
Yes. They
like,
started
nope,
doing
not
that.
doing that. That's when it kind of changed for her is when they started doing that, and
Yeah.
um,
That took
she
away
still
from a
goes.
lot.
And now my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, like this is her thing now. She's like, I gotta find somebody to go Black Friday shopping with. I was like, did you find anybody? She's like, yes. I was like, oh, your cousin Paige. She's like, no. I was like, she's like, mom. I was like, oh, mom's gonna take you Black Friday shopping. She's like, yeah, she's gonna go out early and then she's gonna pack and unload it and then we're gonna go. I'm like, okay. Like, I,
Yeah.
it's so funny because there are certain things she is so much like my wife on. And then there's other things she is exactly like me. And it's her temperament. Her temperament
It's
is exactly like freaking me.
it's a
I'm
scary
like,
thing, isn't it?
it is scary because like I see in her, like just to give you an example. So she's doing algebra yesterday. Okay, she's in algebra 2. She's honors algebra 2. She's very, she's like, I didn't even want honors algebra 2, but I did so well in geometry they had to give it to me because she had like straight A's in geometry and
Well, that's good.
like okay, like she wasn't being, um,
Conceited about it.
yeah, conceited about it. She got good grades, so she deserved it. But um, she was freaking out. She's like, "This is just stupid. I don't understand it." And I could see her anger getting, and that's like how I get when I think something's dumb or ridiculous, and like I'll be like, "I'm stupid, freaking bullshit." Like I could see, I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "That's exactly how I react." So I'm like, I got to play the opposite. I got to be the calm guy. Relax, settle down. You don't need the attitude when you're talking to me about something that you're mad about. Like, I'm going to help you and we're going to figure this out. And she was doing
Yeah.
and she was doing the algebra that she was doing, and I remember doing it, but I mean, what the hell? You're talking 30 plus years now since I had to do algebra.
Yeah.
And it was about quadratic and linear equations, like how to
Oh,
identify
Christ.
if a equation or function, as it was being called, was quadratic or if it was linear.
I'm
What
not
are
a
the
fucking engineer,
quadratic?
so I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I
what are
know, but I don't remember.
so I was like, we're gonna cheat. I said, we're gonna cheat and we're gonna figure this out together. I said, I'm gonna use one example from your page and I'm gonna put it into Copilot, which is an AI system, and I'm gonna
Okay.
ask it to help us. So I could learn, so I could help teach it to her.
Did you use AI?
Yeah, that's right, baby. Use it AI. It's the same
Uh,
thing as Google. It's just more interactive than your Google
AI.
search.
What does
Um,
the A stand for?
you're artificial.
Oh. What does the I stand for?
Lower intelligence.
Oh. What does the A stand for again?
Yes. Anyways,
Asinine.
so yeah, I just plugged the equation and I said, what type of, what type of equation is this? So it calculated it out. It's like, this is a quadratic equation. And then it explains like, why is this, and I said, how do we identify if it's quadratic? And then, I just kept on asking the question. So I could like, essentially, this is my teacher. Now I can teach it to you to help you understand.
I
So,
mean, that makes sense. That's a good example of
and then
it.
she was like, now I understand it. And then she went and did the rest of the problems all on her own. So, it's just one of those things. Like, she was very upset because her teacher, and maybe her teacher did or didn't do it, but she's like, our teacher did not show us this. Like, her teacher's big on doing videos. She'll do teaching videos. So instead of teaching it in class, which is kind of weird, she'll create a video so that they can watch it at home and then do the homework based on that video. I'm like, okay.
There's
So-
That doesn't sound much like teaching to me.
Well, listen, I've Nico's told me before, like there's when they have like homework assignments that they do in class, like there's times, a lot of times, that 75% of the items that he has to do for his homework assignment are taught in class, and the rest of it isn't. So it's just them having to like review their work, their criteria to then answer those questions. So it's kind of I understand what she's saying. Like it's happened in Ego before.
Yeah, and I get it. You can't teach everything in class. And the stuff
But
that she was talking about, the quadratic and linear equations and functions and constants and all these things. This was stuff that was part of Algebra 1, but she didn't have Algebra 1 last year. She had geometry. So she's not using that knowledge. She had Algebra 1 in seventh grade. So
it's like 2
she's
years removed,
yeah, she's almost 2
basically.
years removed from it. And she's like, I don't remember this. And the teacher didn't teach it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and that's the other problem.
We
Like
can always figure it out.
a lot of teachers like expect the kids to remember the stuff from like the year before, or 2 years before, or whatever, because they don't know. They also don't know what path they've taken to get to that specific class as well.
Yeah.
I seem to remember getting like because yeah,
What was that?
well no. What I'm saying is I had pre-algebra, as they called it, in 7th grade, algebra 1 in 8th grade, then geometry in 9th grade, and then 10th grade was algebra 2 and trigonometry. I'm pretty sure, and because that was kind of like the general. Sorry, I thought I heard an alarm go off. Um, because that was like the general system in my school and everything, and the teachers, I think, knew that. Um, when it got to some of that stuff with like in algebra 2, they at least would give like a little refresh and said, like, okay, we know you didn't go over this last year, so it's been like, year and a half, 2 years, whatever. But yeah, they like would like refresh you on like some of those things, especially if it was like, okay, we're getting back into this stuff now. It's like, I'm pretty sure my teacher was like, how much do you guys remember this stuff? And we're like, that's kind of the consensus, you got from the class. So I was like, all right, we're gonna do a quick refresh. So everybody has everyone understands it all again, and then we gotta, get with what's going on. But it said that, yeah, we're gonna make sure we refresh the knowledge.
Mhm.
So if they don't even have time to do that, ugh.
Yeah. I remember I'm glad so when I was in school, I took pre-algebra in 8th grade. I took algebra 1 in 9th grade. And then I took geometry and algebra 2 in 10th grade. And that was the last year I took math.
Yeah, see, I took math every year. I was one of those
I didn't
math
take
dorks.
trig or anything because I met the prerequisites to graduate high school with the math courses I already taken.
Yeah,
So
see, I took trig in 11th grade.
I was like, I'm not taking the rest of this shit.
That was my last hard math, I'll say. And I absolutely hated that class. I
Wait, which one did you hate?
trig.
Yeah, trig can be a pain in the ass.
And it was and the sad thing is that it wasn't that it was hard. I will not say that it was hard. I had, in my personal opinion, a bad teacher because our teacher that class was a combined class. We had like 45 students in that class
So
because there was only two trig teachers and there was like four classes. So they're like, okay, we'll combine it and you'll have two classes, you know. And they were both supposed to teach and help throughout the year. Well, the one teacher got pregnant, so she was out. So now it was one teacher, and it was a male, and he preferred to help the females in our class
of course.
and not the males.
Of course.
And I'm like,
Really?
I just remember
Don't
most
worry,
of the
I've had
help
a
that
couple teachers like that in my middle school and high school days as well.
most of the help that I got was not from the teacher, was from other students in the class with us trying to figure this shit out. You know, we'd get the problem, he'd teach it, and then we'd have to figure it out if we didn't understand it. And not that we couldn't ask the teacher, but I honestly, for the life of me, don't remember really getting help from that teacher. Even when I asked, I don't remember receiving much help. That was the only math class, and I mean the only math class I ever got a D in. I had never gotten a D in math. It was always A's and B's. And I was like, because I was like, I'm going to take calculus next year. No, I'm not. I did not take calculus. I ended up taking algebra 3 because I loved math. I always enjoyed math. And then
I
of
liked
course when
math, but I just
the-
didn't want to get to the higher levels. I just wanted the rest of my high school years to be smooth sailing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I took algebra 2 and trig. That's because they kind of combined them into one class, and used a textbook that did that in 10th grade. Then 11th grade was pre-calc, and 12th grade was calculus. And somebody even, I think one of my teachers, probably the teacher of the class, even said that pre-calc was really algebra 3, but they called it pre-calc. So
yeah, they and it's funny because then I took physics in high school, and physics uses trig. It was trig-based physics. So I did perfectly fine in physics, but I couldn't pass trig. I couldn't do well in trig. Like it's the same stuff.
I wonder why.
yeah, trig-based physics is not fun.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. We did bridge projects and shit like that, so we had to use, trying to figure out the angles and make sure the damn bridges stayed up and stuff.
Well, it's still not fun. That's all I'm saying.
I thought it was fun.
Okay, I just said it wasn't fun, and my word.
Yeah, I
I
took
remember
statistics
Chelsea
when I was
though.
in community college. I love statistics class.
Oh my God, probs and stats. Oh my God, Chelsea
Statistics.
hated that. She took that. She took that in freaking college. She's like, I hate this course.
I
I
love statistics.
okay, so here's the funny thing. So I took statistics twice. I
Oh, you
took
loved
it
it so much you took it twice.
I took it at when I was at Notre Dame, and I like wasn't grasping it, like I wasn't like getting it right. But here's the thing too. That was 2000 and 2001. So we had to do like all like the calculations by like hand and everything. Some of those statistics calculations by hand are an absolute pain in the ass.
They are.
And I didn't get a good enough grade in it for it to count as a credit when I went back to school after our T-Mobile layoff. So I had to take it again when was back at taking classes at Muhlenberg 12 years ago, and I was like deathly afraid of taking it again. And I was like one of the first classes I took my first semester back. But it was like, like I said, 12 years after I had taken it the first time. They didn't have us doing any of the calculations by hand. They said, this is the calculator you need.
Yep.
So it's like somebody could say, well, that's cheating. And it's like, okay, yeah, but like I said, nobody's calculating standard deviation by hand anymore. That's just not,
No, you're
you know.
definitely putting that into a calculator or some
And
sort of
just
It's not
freaking
sensible to do it
computer.
that way anymore.
right. And just because the calculator is doing the work, you still don't have to enter how to enter the information into the calculator properly, which means you have to understand how to do it. It's like, you say, oh, the calculator's doing the work for you. It's like, yeah, but if you don't understand how to put the numbers into the calculator properly, you're not going to get the right answer and everything. So I pretty much aced the class taking it the second time because
Yep.
we're trying to do these calculations by hand. Because for whatever it was, maybe it was because the other shit that was going on with my whole frame of mind and everything when I was at Notre Dame, was trying to take the statistics class then. I don't know. It didn't click. I didn't grasp it. But then it was like, over a decade later, it was like, oh, this makes sense. Why didn't this make sense 10 years ago? So.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
It's just it was funny when Chelsea was in college, and I might have told you guys this before, but she had to take probabilities and statistics. Like she hated that class because it didn't make sense for her. Like she was never going to teach probs and stats in and that's what she always called it, so that's why I'm calling it that. In high school,
Sure.
she's like, I'm never going to teach this. Like, I'm going to teach some type of regular math. She's like, so I don't know why I got to take this, but I'm taking it and I don't like it. I don't think she liked the professor in that class either. But then her favorite class of all time, kidding, being reverse, is history of math. She had a history of math course, and I'm like, what?
Really?
I'm like, history? What are they gonna teach? Teaching you about the people that came up with like certain formula? Like, what are they teaching you? She's like, I don't know. And this professor is terrible. Like, he does not help anybody. And I'm like, well, you're gonna have to figure a way to figure it out because I can't help you with history and math. Like, there's no way for me to help you. And you're now considered an adult and you're in college, so you have to figure out a way. You work with somebody in the class, gotta go to the professor and ask him questions. You gotta figure it out. Like you gotta do something. And she ended up doing fine in that class, but she's like, I don't like that professor. Like this course is stupid. But yeah, just some of the things that you gotta do. Like she ended up taking a calculus class in high school, like a college calculus class in high school. So she took like out of L Tri C because like the school had a lot of schools now have like partnerships with the local community colleges and stuff like that where you can take a college level course. And so she did that. So she like had a full credit before, not a full credit, maybe a full credit in that, but before she graduated and everything. I was like, that's cool. So yeah. And now she's a math teacher. Go figure. Teaching kids that she's got to get to a point where they want to learn about math, hopefully. Easier said than done
Yeah.
sometimes with some of the kids that
Hopefully
she's got.
is the key factor there. Hopefully.
I mean, math is one of those things where it's like you either get it or you don't, really.
Yeah.
some people are mathematically inclined, some people aren't. It's like there were plenty of people I knew who were smart but just couldn't really grasp math, which always seems weird to me because I always have been able to. So, um, yeah, it's like,
Well,
it's just not everybody's, hate to fall back on cliches here, but not everybody's wired the same way when it comes to stuff like that.
Well, the way they teach it
Yeah.
now too is very different. At least the lower levels of math, like in grade school and stuff, like they have the Common Core. They do like all these different ways of trying to teach kids how to add, subtract, and multiply and divide now, so that it makes more sense to their brains because they've identified, and whether I think it's goofy or not, they've identified that some kids just the way that we learned math with the with addition and subtraction, you take from this column, you add it to this column, and now you got this. It doesn't make sense
Oh
to every
God.
kid.
Yeah.
So giving them understandings of, I think core or common core is like multiples of five to get things down to where they need to get them and stuff. I don't understand. It still doesn't make any sense to me. But
Well,
they've identified kids. Certain kids need that different breakdown to help them understand how to do addition and subtraction. Like, okay, cool, whatever. So
what's funny is like because you mentioned Common Core, and I know that's been like the new thing and
Common
everything
Core sucks.
for the last I don't know how long exactly.
It's fucking stupid. 8 years.
Um, I like when I started seeing that stuff like pop up online and everything. And I was like seeing like the problem saying oh, present it this way or whatever, and like especially when I was seeing like stuff where people were like sharing stuff where teachers were marking that like the problem is wrong even though the kid had the right answer, but it was like he didn't do it the right way and
Yep.
everything.
Fucking livid over that
And I'm
shit.
like that's a little annoying to me because it's like as long as you can show that I'm saying he, I mean, the student can show that he or she is coming up with the right answer, even if it's not the way you're telling them to do it. That annoys me because it's like if you come up with the right answer, however you come up with the right answer is fine as long as it makes logical sense, and you're not just starting like like x plus 3 minus blah blah blah, like you don't start with like the equation, then you just have the answer and you don't show the work in between. Like that's not a valid
Correct.
answer. But it's like if you're coming up with something, you're coming up with the right answer, and you have a way you're doing it, but it's not like that way you're supposed to do it. It's like that kind of bothers me. But so here's the funny thing: I kind of realized over the last few years, a lot of times when I'm doing stuff in my head with trying to figure out like math problems and stuff, I think I'm doing it in like a common core type of way because I'm like separating the number and like breaking it down into like different components and doing that. Like I can do that kind of stuff in my head. I don't know though that I could write it down on paper. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I
so
can
And
do it. I can do it so that it makes sense for myself, but I don't know if I can necessarily do it to like show your work.
and the Common Core stuff is just crazy because like the way they explain it to you sometimes doesn't make sense either. Like there's teachers that were teaching Common Core down here when they started making the kids do it back in like 2018 or 2017, that some of the teachers were struggling to learn how to do the Common Core math to teach the kids.
Yeah.
And like when Nico was doing it, I'm like, this is just asinine. Like the teacher would either do this, like one teacher would just mark the whole thing wrong if you got the right answer, but your work didn't really show how you got the answer or was a little bit off, they mark it all wrong. Then you had another teacher that would give you half credit for it if you had the right answer, but struggle getting there, but still somehow got there. And it was like, what the fuck? It was so half-assed backwards, so
yeah.
ridiculous.
So one of the things that like, and I don't even know what this is how unknowing of Common Core, like what some. So I'm looking at this one thing. I looked it up on my phone real quick. Some of the things that he's been doing over the years, just Lucas, because he's been definitely hit with it more than my daughter was, with the Common Core stuff. Um, so they do these like graphs, so to say, in there. They got hash marks,
Yep.
and he learned it with subtraction, and more with subtraction it came into play. Um, but they had to mark on this like hash marks and then like put numbers. So the one example is 342 minus 79. Now, normally I would just put the 79 under the 342, borrow from the and teach the do the borrow method. And they learned that too. But the other way that they learned was through this graph. So you put your number that you're subtract, your bigger number at one end, and you put the small number at the other end. Well, then you go, okay, well, how many to get to 100 from 79? Well, that's 21. So then you do plus 21, and then you got your hash mark for 100. And then you can jump all the way up to the next, um, keep it in the hundreds. Okay, now I need to still get to 300. Okay, so 100 to 300 is how much? 200. Okay, so now you have 200. Now what's left over still? So I'm at 300. I need to get to 342. So that's 42 more. That's Common Core. It's an interesting way to do it, but it seems like so elongated to get it. And
It
I remember
is.
Lucas, he's like, I don't like doing these number jumps or whatever he was calling them. I forget. He had a specific term for them that they call them. He's like, I don't like this. It's too much. Like I have to write too much to do this.
It is.
So he would get
It's
frustrated
a
with
long
that, just
way
the,
of
how long the
doing
process
something.
was.
They,
Yeah,
they took a simple process that got you the answer quickly and efficiently, and have made some Common Core where it takes you longer to get to the answer
right.
and
But
takes
like
you
I
this
said, some
elongated way.
kids need that to be able to understand how to add and subtract. And I'm fine. That's fine. You want to teach them all that. Doesn't make me like it more. At least
Yeah.
I understand why they do it. Just and the same thing with like the division. Okay, 28 divided by 4. Well, we all know that's 7. But they have them write it out as, okay, well, how many sevens is that? It's 4 sevens. So they do 777 so that they understand, okay, it's actually 4 sevens added together to get to 28. Like understanding the actual
Yeah.
multiplication of why is it 4 times 7, 28? Well, because it's actually adding 4 sevens together or 7 fours together. They kind of break it down like that. So it helps them understand, which I can appreciate that too, because sometimes when you jump into multiplication, you're like, but why? Like, why is 4 times 2 8?
Because it is.
Yeah. Well, as long as you don't try and tell
4
me,
twos make an 8.
as long as you don't try to tell me 2 plus 2 is 5 or 1 plus 1 is 3, I won't have to smack you around too much.
1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1.
I did forget today that there's an NFL game going on right now.
Because have either of you seen that? Does 1 plus 1 equal 2? Well, it depends. I'm like, no, if I take one finger plus one finger and I put them together, now I have 2 fingers. There's 2 fingers here.
No. Wait, do that again.
One finger plus one finger makes 2 fingers.
Okay, but put them together again.
I know, it's really one giant finger.
No. Move them slightly apart.
Oh, it's the number 11.
Yeah, so you have 11.
Yeah, some people do that shit too. And I know those people are trying to be funny about it. But yeah, it's just like that kind of stuff
Stupidity.
where people are like, no, I'm going to question math because really is 2 plus 2 4? Yeah, because if I have 2 apples and I have 2 apples over here and I put them next to each other, how many apples do I got together? 4. I don't suddenly magically grow a 5th fucking apple. Where'd the 5th apple come from? Because actually I have 5. Because it's 2 apples plus 3 apples, motherfucker.
All right, there was.
Like, I don't understand how people are going to question math. Like, well, was math always math? Do we learn math or we've always known math? I don't know. Do I really care?
Stupidity. The stupidity of the young generation doing stupid shit.
Yeah. Okay. So you're trying to tell me that there are people out there who are trying to say 1 plus 1 does not equal 2?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there was.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So there was a scene in the sitcom Brooklyn Nine-Nine where Andre Braugher's character, Captain Hole, is talking to Melissa Fumero's character, Detective Amy Santiago, like mentoring her, saying, when people say good morning, they mean hello. When people say how are you, they mean hello. When people say what's up, they're saying I am a person not worth speaking to. If someone tries to tell me 1 plus 1 does not equal 2, they are telling me they are not a person worth speaking to.
Wow, that's a weird analogy with that one. Okay. That's
Well,
Well,
I think there was
I don't
also.
know. I just wanted to make a Brooklyn Nine-Nine
That-
reference,
that,
so
you know,
sue me.
Brooklyn
Well,
Nine-Nine was an interesting
this
show
tells
in
you how
itself.
this tells you how bad it got because when the whole 1 plus 1 doesn't equal 2 and 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4 argument came out, it was also paired with this another argument that math was a racist concept.
Oh, I'm so tired of that bullshit too.
So I was like,
I
okay,
see
now
it
I
from I
really
see
can't believe these people that are trying to tell me stuff because
I seem
I
to
don't know how
remember
you
hearing
make that.
that whole math is a racist concept thing, and like, look, I'm the first person to acknowledge, yeah, that is racist. Math is not math is math. Okay, you can't really dispute math on biases and stuff like
Math
that.
is what it
Yeah.
is since the day it was created back in centuries ago,
Yeah,
or
okay.
however long it was.
But again, somebody wants to try to say that 2 + 2 isn't 4. Okay. Look, I have
I
look,
have.
I have 2 lifesavers in my hand.
Are you sure? Because one looks with your giant mitts. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's also because I got the the blur function and everything. Okay, and they're in their wrappers, So okay, look, there are 2 lifesavers. All
Yes.
right, and in this hand, I have 2 more lifesavers. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I see 8.
I mean, I'm
Oh.
sorry, you just can't fundamentally dispute that.
It's just people trying to get clicks and trying to you know, challenge the norm of shit, and it's just like stupidity that they're doing with it.
No, I think it's easy. It's people trying to get clicks. It's people trying to bring the attention upon themselves. Because they probably devised some system where they're getting monetized for this shit. And so it's like if they're, encouraging people to just, be just at the very least to just go post, what's wrong with you? What kind of fucking idiot are you? Blah, 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 blah. That's somehow going to benefit them.
I mean, we can
This
start a
this
movement.
just goes to show how fucking stupid our society has become and how the internet is not helping.
Listen, did you know
He
the
said
Earth-
over a program on the internet.
Listen, we can start a movement. The Earth is a cube. That's all. That's all I gotta say. Let's start the Earth as a
It
cube
used to
movement.
be at one point in time you would fall off the edge of the earth if you went too far in your boat. And then
It's a
suddenly
big-
somebody found out that, hey, that
It's a
doesn't happen.
rounded cube.
It's like the beginning of Monty Python's Meaning of Life. God's got a cubed earth in his hand and a globe earth in his hand, and he's trying to stick the globe earth through a cube thing in front of him. So he's like looking at both of them, going, they throw the globe earth away.
It's just,
Yep.
and it's funny. So talking about other people that have some interesting thought processes, we'll go with the flat earthers.
Oh, please.
I
can't. I
Do we
can't
have
with that.
to? Because I really don't want to have an aneurysm on air.
I can't with those people.
I've sorry.
Look, okay, let me just say this.
This is
Skepticism is fine. Questioning things is fine. There are certain things you simply cannot question because they are just facts.
Scientific facts.
Yes.
It's just so funny. I've come across it quite often, and I always have to sit and listen because I want to try and understand their thought process when they try to say that the Earth is flat. Okay, that it is we're underneath a dome, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
let me hear your explanation.
We're under a dome.
And it's so funny because they'll be like, you can't fly south. Like, what? Like, how can you not fly south? Like, have you never seen a flight pattern to Australia, which is south? Have you never gone to Florida, which is south? Like, that is a southern
Have
part.
you never flown to South America from the United States?
Like, I have found
They don't
most
spin
of these
around the
people
Earth to
that
get there.
have most of these people that believe the Earth is flat have never left where they live. Like they've either taken a train or a car to wherever they go, and so they have never been anywhere far enough away to know that they have flown in a different freaking direction. That's one thing I've come to understand. But the other thing that makes me laugh about is how do they explain the sun disappearing, in that is they're it's it's controlled by man. First of all, the sun is controlled by man. It's not really out there in the, you know.
Yes, the sun that's what,
Ah,
98 million miles away from
ah,
us is controlled by man. We click a button.
So,
We've been
so
clicking a button since
essentially,
the
when you
Stone
can't
Age
see the
days.
sun anymore, it's because, well, let me fix that. They don't believe it's controlled by man, but it like the whole dome is man-made. But anyways,
Yes, the Stone
the
Age people made the dome. Gotcha.
the reason that you cannot see the sun anymore is because you visually are
And the dinosaurs
unable
helped.
to physically see it. Like your eyes can't see it anymore. It's too far away. So it just hovers over us and goes to the other side of the dome, and now you can't see it on the other side of the dome. Um, the problem with that is how far away the actual sun is, and the fact that we can see it from Earth. Like it's not going to move far enough away where you can't physically see it anymore. Like it's already millions and millions of miles away, and we can see it. It's bright as fuck. And
Yeah.
so they're like, well, why doesn't the moon light up the sun? You know, light up the earth. Because the moon is like, why can we see the moon? Why is the moon bright in the sky, but it doesn't light up the earth? Because the moon is receiving reflect. The reason you can see the moon is it's reflected light from the sun on the other side of the earth. Like that's the only reason we can see the moon. We wouldn't be able to see the moon if the sun was not reflecting light off of it, because it's going
moon,
around the earth and
if the moon emitted its own light, it would literally be a full moon all the time.
yeah.
Which,
Pretty
of
Um,
course, would
much.
be very bad considering the ever growing werewolf population.
Yes.
um, the other thing is the other claim is the horizon. The horizon's not real.
Oh,
Yeah, that's that's
So
that's that's the one I've always heard. So,
the
so yeah, the
horizon's
fact
not
that,
real.
well, why it's supposedly if we have a curvature of the Earth, why can I see something this far away? It should be disappearing according to the horizon and the curvature of the Earth. And
yeah,
then
it
there's always
does.
like this picture of the boat, like, and they're like, I should not be able to see this from where I am at so many miles away.
Do you understand how small we are compared to the Earth that we live on? That's the
Right,
problem.
right. And they're like this size
Ah,
skyscraper, I should not be able to see. The curvature of the Earth should take it away. Um, the skyscraper is X amount of feet tall, and you have gone 100 miles. Like it doesn't drop. The curvature of the Earth doesn't drop that much in 100 miles. Like they always have these distances figured out that they're like, well, I shouldn't be able to see this. And it's like, oh my God, like you people. And then when they have actual scientists, like they'll debate actual scientists. The scientists are like, well, this is why we're able to see this. Like the curvature of the Earth is this. You know, you can see so many miles. It does start to drip. And then they'll be like, no, this is reflection. This is refraction of something, and this is why I can still see it. No, that's not why you can still see it.
oh
Like
boy.
it's just some of the arguments that they try to come back with. They'll try to use math, but it's only math that works when they talk about it. When anybody else talks about the math, like no, 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 no.
Yeah, and
It's
it's a math that makes no sense to begin with when it comes out of their mouth. So it's kind of interesting.
and what was it? There's
Yeah.
another one with the stuff in people don't believe gravity's real. Like
Oh, sure.
gravity's is a man-made thing. Like
Yeah.
gravity doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
Well, if we're spinning this fast, why aren't we thrown off of the Earth?
Yeah.
Gravity keeps us attached to the Earth. Well, where does gravity come from? Gravity's created by the propulsion of the freaking planet. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it does. Have you ever taken a bucket and done this with it?
Nothing for them
Gravity.
makes sense. It's so ridiculous.
Like swinging the bucket around in a circle. Hey, guess what? You're creating gravity because of centrifugal force. It keeps the water in the bucket.
Oh, it's so,
You can prove that yourself.
oh yeah. So, so humorous these people are.
We should be able to feel the Earth moving as it's going that fast. Really?
I just
For how big it is, yeah, okay.
I see the thing too with me is like I guess it just kind of amazes me that it's a subsection of people who are so hell bent on proving how smart they are by saying and doing the dumbest possible things that there are. That's what it is. I'm sorry. It's like, again, like I said, this goes beyond skepticism into full-blown anti-intellectualism. It's like it's because like you didn't come up with it on your own, and because for whatever reason, sorry to be so blunt, you're too stupid to understand why it is that way. You've decided then basically you're just going to be dumber. So,
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny, like you said, questioning stuff, ask, is always good. You should always question things, but to completely dismiss like scientific truths and facts and stuff like that and say that no, this is fake, this is not real. Like I can almost understand um people that are like the moon landing didn't really happen. Like now I don't know if it really did. I didn't live in that time. We only have videotape to see that, that say that people did. But it's funny when you hear people be like, they interview they not Lance Armstrong, Buzz Armstrong. Lance Armstrong was the cyclist. They've interviewed Buzz Armstrong, and he said they didn't really land on the moon. I'm like, did they really interview him?
wait, do you mean Lance Armstrong or Buzz Aldrin?
Buzz Aldrin. Sorry, I'm getting them mixed together. My apologies.
Yeah. No, Buzz Aldrin tried to physically attack somebody who suggested to his face that the moon landing was faked.
Yeah. It's like, did he really do that? Did he really say that? It's just it's so funny. I mean, I can understand it if people want to believe that's something that when it comes to conspiracy theories, you can almost see that maybe they did because how the hell did they get cameras up there? How did they do this? How did they live feed it, and stuff like that?
Well, again, they have explanations for all those things too. So.
Right, and I'm not saying that they don't, but if you think about back in that time frame, with the technology, the limits of technology that they had, I can understand people questioning that.
I mean, yeah. I
Now,
get that.
do I think we landed on the moon? I want to believe that we did. Like, why would you want to lie to me about landing on the moon?
Yeah, that's one of those things.
There's other things that I have more conspiracy theories about, which really could have involved other people, and that would be the JFK assassination. That's one that I'm a conspiracy theorist. I will honestly admit that I'm a conspiracy theorist because there was too many things that happened shortly after that makes sense to me in my mind as to why Lee Harvey Oswald did what he supposedly did. And the fact that all of a sudden that random guy just walked up as Lee Harvey Oswald's being brought out of the jail and just shot him right in the gut. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
One, how did that guy get that gun that close? And why? Two, somebody's really that upset that they killed the president and decided they had to take it out on that guy that quickly? Something seems fishy.
There's always something to be.
Because then shortly after that, too, we were involved in the Vietnam conflict.
Well, the Vietnam conflict technically kind of originated with shit we were doing back in 1945.
Yeah, right. we were already in Vietnam before.
Yeah.
Right, but
we were lying.
JFK was not going to get us involved in the current problems.
Oh, right.
Yes,
it was
that's more specific than what's his name? Homeboy that took over after him definitely wanted to be there.
It was the escalation and everything, and if you believe certain things, some people said Kennedy wasn't going to escalate in Vietnam, or he was going to pull us out all together, and that would upset a lot of people. So that's why there's like the military, coup plot and everything. It's like Lyndon Johnson part of it because Lyndon Johnson obviously escalated Vietnam. So
yes,
yeah, and that's like I said from my conspiracy because there are things that I question, and I'm like, this doesn't add up. That is my one that I'm just like, something seemed fishy back then.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff about the JFK assassination which are never going to be satisfactorily explained.
They'll never release. They can say they've released everything. I don't believe they ever will, just because there are so many secret documents, and if
Wasn't
there's
there
certain
some
type of
stuff
powerful
they
people,
supposedly released that was still redacted or something like that?
Yeah, put it this way. If there's anything that was ever put on paper about like this is what happened, this is how it went down, you'll never actually see that.
no, absolutely not.
But I don't think anything that was that incriminating would have ever been put on paper anyway. So,
No, I
No.
wouldn't believe so either. Why would you personally incriminate yourself? And
right, and like anybody who let's say there were like certain people who were like involved with it and
Unless you
everything.
find someone's phone being tapped or something like that on an unsecured
Yeah,
line.
but let's say again, like they had like people who were like involved with it or whatever. Like, yeah, it's like they weren't gonna say anything. So,
I do
You
like the way. So sorry, one quick.
no, no, go ahead.
I must say, The Rock, the original Rock with uh, goodness
Sean Connery.
gracious, Sean Connery and Nicolas Cage. I do
Mhm.
like the way that movie ended because it's really funny take on the third pew left first leg, and he's like things like you're never gonna believe who killed JFK. I was like,
yeah, yeah,
sweet.
he was saying something like, "Do you really want to know who killed JFK?" It's like, see,
So
that's the
I
whole
love
thing.
that. That was funny.
It was.
But see that say what you will for the Oliver Stone movie JFK, and like there's a lot of stuff, of course, that's fiction in there, obviously. Um, but like they say in that movie, the who isn't so much as important as the why, or in the case of whoever actually pulled the trigger that fired the shot that killed him isn't as important as the person who ordered him to do it.
It's the why, not the who, really, at this point.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
Jeremy, you still have Netflix?
I do.
Yo, go on Netflix and there's a series called Turning Point. There's one on the Vietnam War, and it takes you all the way back to like how we legitimately got involved over there. And there was a lot of lies. Watch it. That is, it's gonna take you some time to watch it. So I think each episode is anywhere from like, I'll say it's an average of an hour an episode, just give or
Okay.
take. And I think there's 6 to 8 episodes. But
Oh,
they
wow.
they interview. It's dude. Listen, my dad was over there. He very rarely talks about it, but they interview survivors who were different military branches that were in Vietnam. They interview the Vietnamese from the North and the South, and you will learn a lot from them. There is a Northern Vietnamese lady. She was called the Tank Killer. She was using World War II weapons that they gave the North Vietnamese because they didn't have the new stuff. So they're using World War II military equipment. And she would go into foxholes and she would sit there and put explosives and stuff on the tanks as they drove over her. And she became the tank killer, the tank lady killer. Yeah, you will see. Ooh, there's some interesting stuff that kind of gets to you. There's a part where there's a Vietnamese dude where they come into his little home and they pretty much slaughter the whole little village. And he survived because he took his relatives' dead bodies and put them on top of his. So they wouldn't find him. And he laid there for hours.
And this was the Americans coming in and slaughtering the village. Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, there
Yeah.
was a lot of.
You will,
I've
you
watched a
will,
lot of specials in now movies, of course, are fictional, but they're usually based on some facts that they have about like especially like Vietnam and World War II.
this documentary is pretty, it's really, they bring in a lot of people who were involved in it and everything like that. Just
Yeah.
it goes through the whole history about 45, from 45 when we went over there and we were supposed to back the Vietnamese and we kind of didn't, and the French tried to come out. It's a whole thing because you learn a lot from this
But yeah, and it's one of
and
those
why we went there.
things, whether it's right or wrong, is not for me to say. But one of the things that on other documentaries that I've seen is you have the people that were part of the U.S. military that was over there, and they'll claim we could not look at somebody and say they were friend or foe.
Yeah,
We would go into these areas. We
They
didn't
didn't
know if
fight
they
in
were North. What's that?
They didn't fight in uniform.
No, we didn't know if they
Yeah.
were North Vietnamese, South Vietnamese, they were regular people, if they were military. Like it was a very different way that because it was the North Vietnamese, right? I always
Hmm.
screw this up, that we were fighting against to
Yes.
keep communism out of South Vietnam. Yeah.
Correct.
Um, they fought a very different war. Like it was guerrilla warfare where you don't know where your enemy is. They had tunnels dug all over that country. They did not fight in uniform all the time. So and you had interpreters. Whether those interpreters were telling the truth about what they were hearing from the people when they went into villages and started interrogating people, we don't know if they were telling the truth or if they were saying what they wanted those people to, what they wanted the military to hear. They could have been scared for their lives that, hey, if I don't interpret this a certain way, I'm going to lose my life too. You don't know what was going on because we were not there. Like you can only take accounts from people that were actually there, and this is their story, and you got to take it for what that story is.
Here's another thing with that war too, and I don't want to say it's the worst of the wars for our American troops, but the mental aspect of that war fucked a lot of American
Oh yeah,
troops up.
talk about PTSD.
Yeah, like PTSD from Vietnam. Wow, I think would be, I don't want to say it's worse than anything that our troops went into Iraq or anything like that. Don't get me wrong, but like that was Jeremy, when you watch it and you see the mental state of some of the American troops and what they did, it's it's pretty graphic and gruesome. I will say that. And those people like were there for a while,
Oh
those
yeah,
American
they didn't
troops.
sign up to kill women and children. Like that was not part of the deal. Like
Dude, it's
when you sign up for the military and if you're going to go into a combat zone, you're expecting to fight other people who are part of the military. You're not
and the
expecting it
North
to fight anybody else.
and listen, the North Vietnamese did it on purpose because they didn't have enough men in North Vietnam to fight. So they recruited the women, not just to make stuff. They recruited the women to fight, and they were given the World War II military equipment, hence the tank killer. And you will see others on there too. You didn't know. You didn't know. They literally didn't know because there were some kids too, like 13, 14-year-old kids that were given weapons to hide in um, foxholes or whatever the case may be. And you see an American troop or the South Vietnamese shoot. So, like, the mentality of that war was really fucked up,
Yeah.
extremely.
And we're seeing, and in just to kind of relate it now to current times, you're seeing that now with what's happened in Gaza and in that area of the world. Like they are not fighting a fight that you would consider a fair fight where you can clearly identify good people, bad people, military people that
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
not you're seeing that now,
even the
and
Iraq
people are
War.
upset, and it's like I get it, you're upset. Women and children should not be
No,
killed, but when the enemy's not fighting in a way, when the people you're fighting are not fighting in a way where you can clearly identify who is who,
you don't know.
there's going to be people that are unfortunately collateral damage is the best way I can put it because I can't think of a different way to put it, but they become the collateral damage of these conflicts that happen. It's not right,
It's sad.
and it's sad, but like you can't just say, well, these people are bad because they did this. Well, you don't know the actual situation. Like
Yeah.
you don't know. You're only hearing what the news reports. So you don't really know the full story, the full situation of what is happening and why these people did what they actually did.
Think about the Iraq War and all our military. Like you watch podcasts and videos where they're over there and the enemy's been spotted, but yet you see men, but then there's the same thing, 13, 14, 12, 15-year-old kids, 16-year-old kids carrying AKs. So you, you don't want to, these guys don't want to be shooting kids. Like that's the last thing they want to be doing. But then, the enemy takes the kids, and the kids believe in the system that was going on, religious, however you want to put it, don't care. They believe into the system, and they're fighting against grown men. So it's the aspect, like, if it's sad to say, like, if you don't shoot, they're going you then you're not going to survive. You're not coming home to your family, and that's the sad part.
Yeah.
You
I
you
mean,
just have no idea. And I think if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, I could be wrong. I mean, I think the Iraq War, like, they used some of their women too, and as like decoys, and making them seem like they're friendly, and then all of a sudden blowing up in front of American troops or some shit like that. I think
yeah.
that was used a couple times.
And what I find, just knowing, studying history and things of that nature is most of the time that this happens, it is not like your developed countries to like, it's not the UK, it's not Germany, it's not this, it's not all these countries that are highly, which would be considered first world countries.
Well, Germany back in the day, yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe World War II, one World War II. Um,
The Hitler days, for some
yeah,
of it.
but like the more recent, so we'll say from the 1950s up and on, most of the countries that have done this have been your lower developed countries, the less populated countries, um, where they don't have rules of engagement. They don't follow the rules of engagement. Like the US has military, they have a code where you can't even be part of the military until you're 18. 17 if your parent signs off on it. And I don't even know if that's a thing anymore.
I don't even know.
But you have to be 18. You have to be a graduate of high school before you can sign up for the military. Like there's rules and regulations around our military and what you can do. But we have a higher population of people. We're not being invaded. We're not constantly in conflict within our own country. You're talking about countries that over there they're fighting amongst each other, and then we're going over to help the side that we think is on the side of the right. Maybe that's not true. Sometimes maybe it's about other things that we want to see happen. But I'm going to go with we're trying to help the people that we feel are in the right in that particular situation. That's what I'll go with.
Or it's about money. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's so
Like World War II, but go ahead.
but when we fight these people, they're not going to follow the same rules. There is supposed to be a rules of engagement when it comes to war. War's rules of engagement. I don't know who sets those in force and
Yeah,
tries to enforce them, but
that's more of like
this is how we're supposed to do it. But you're not going to
that's
follow
kind
these
of
rules.
like one of those supposed, like in sports, the unwritten rules type of bullshit,
Yeah,
because like countries like that aren't in a society that most other countries are not going to follow those rules of engagement.
no,
They are
they're going
more
to use
geared
every able body that they can, regardless of who they are.
they're those countries that are you can use the phrase in it to win it. They will win by any means, pretty much.
Yeah. So I mean,
And they've
once
shown
again,
that through their history. So
is it right or is it wrong? Do I agree with it? Hell no. Um, I don't believe you should ever involve women and children in any kind of conflict, but
uh,
these are what some of these countries do. But a lot of these countries, like I said, are in constant conflict. Like I mean, how long has the um, Israel been fighting against who is it? It's not Palestine because I don't feel like
Pakistan.
there's that border. There's that one shared border between Israel and I can't think of the other country all of a sudden. Maybe it is Palestine. I don't know. They've been firing rockets at each other and fighting for like 1,000 freaking years. It's how do you have rest in a country that's constantly in conflict? Like you don't like. This is so.
Yeah.
What is it? I gotta look it up because I think they call it the 1,000 Year War or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff over there when it comes to some of those countries and the wars they've been in for decades. 100%. But
Oh, the Hundred
it's
Years War. Oh,
it's
that was
the
England and France. Wrong thing.
it's the nature of our society, our existence. Look, war's been a part of our of the human being since way back when, empires and all that stuff. So it's something that will never truly go away. There will be down times and there will be war times. It all depends what country you live in, and it's going to be where You will see more war than others, unfortunately. And then Darth Pat will just come in with his blazing lightsaber and his Knights of Ren and just take everybody out and settle everything.
Yeah.
Did you hear the rumors that, not the rumors, but did you hear that the Acolyte, the person from the Acolyte, the Sith dude, was going to become the first Ren of the Ren of Knights,
No, I
the
did not.
Knights of Ren? Yeah, the director um, confirmed that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's where they were heading towards.
I mean, they never did anything proper with the whole Knights of Ren thing anyway, so
No, they did stuff in comics and graphic novels and stuff like that, but it's still not a lot going on. But yeah, that was where they were going. They were going to go to, he was going to become the first Knights of Ren. So Plagueis would be introduced to Palpatine at some point. That's kind of where the story was going. Which, like
I mean,
again,
I figured that's what they were going to try to do, is they were going to try to eventually tie it into Palpatine's origin, but yeah.
I feel bad. I think the fans shit on the Acolyte a little bit more than they should have, but it is what it is.
They did, but the problem too was that that show wasn't really consistent enough from start to finish. Like I remember the first several episodes kind of alternated between boring and action packed, and then so it didn't flow all that well in a long.
No, it could have been better, but it's something they could have fixed in season two. And I just,
No, yeah, they could have. I wish they had kept going. So
they bought too much into the fans online bitching,
Boo, no
unfortunately.
season 2. I know. I would
But
like to see in a season 2.
but you know, it is what it is with that, I guess. Just have the game up here because I have some players, especially the running backs from each one of these teams playing on my fantasy team and tight ends. And I forgot that there was a game in Berlin this morning.
I thought he was the tight end. He used to be. Little men on football.
Falcons are winning 17-13, but the Colts are driving. And both running backs in this game are giving me decent fantasy football stats for right now, so I'm good. My tight end's not doing so
of
much.
course, only ever concerned about what they can do for you.
It was so.
That's right, because our teams play today, brother.
We've been
Yeah, and I have to sit here and watch it now since I'm not going to a movie now. Oh, which I better cancel those tickets real quick.
I've been
Oh, yes.
taking.
Get your
We've
refunds.
been, my wife and I have been taking the kids through the journey of '90s movies with Adam Sandler and different people.
Ooh.
So,
Isn't your
What?
son still maybe a little too young for Adam Sandler movies?
no, they're PG-13. They're okay.
But he's like,
There's a lot of stuff that goes way over his head.
but he's only 9, right?
Yes, there's a lot of stuff that goes over top of his head, and I listen to it. I'm like, I kind of cringe a little bit, and I'm like, he's not
Nah.
gonna understand that, and he
Give it a
doesn't ask
couple years.
questions. He doesn't ask questions about it either.
He'll understand it surely.
There was one thing he asked a question about. There was one, like, we watched Dodgeball the other day,
Oh, jeez.
and there's a lot of stuff that went over his head in that movie. Abby gets it, and she was like, like, but they came out like the scene where they come out in the S&M gear for their their first match because they get the wrong
Yes.
bucket of stuff.
Yes.
He
that was
didn't
great.
like. He was
Crazy.
just laughing. He thought it was funny. So
He didn't understand any of it.
No,
That's
he didn't
great.
understand it, which was funny. But the only scene that I was like, oh shit, I forgot this scene's in this movie is where she kisses the girl, like Christine, what the heck is her name? What is her actual name? I can't think of her.
Christine Taylor.
Yeah, Christine Taylor. Where she kisses the girl and they're like, see, and one guy's like, see, I told you she was a lesbian. He's like, damn, didn't see that. And then she's like, I am not. I'm bisexual. And then she kisses him. I was waiting for him to be like, why is she kissing both girls and boys? I was going to be like, it's just a movie. People don't really do that.
He didn't ask,
Like,
though?
no, he didn't ask. He didn't say ew. He might have covered his eyes. Like he's still at that stage where kissing's gross to him.
Gotcha.
we watched Billy Madison too, and I had him. I'm like the scene where he kisses the picture, and he's like doing the boob thing. I was like,
Oh,
I looked at him and I go, buddy, you need to close your eyes. He's like, why? I said, because I said you need to. I said this scene is
I would have been like
I
this.
don't want you to. I was like, you need to
I'm
close your
not looking,
eyes
Dad. I'm not looking.
or
Oh,
cover them. One
yeah.
of the two. He's like, okay. And then Abby's, of course, we're watching, and she's like, oh my, like she's like losing it. And then I was like, okay, that scene's over, buddy. You can take your eyes off of it.
See, when
You can open
she's
up your
losing it,
eyes.
he's like, God damn it, why can't I see this?
The and it's just and it's funny. So like I said, yes, he is 9, and some people might be like, I can't believe you're letting your son watch that. Most of the stuff,
Uh,
like I said, most of the stuff goes way over his head. He laughs at the funny stuff, like the dodgeball stuff when the kids are well, not kids, the adults. There, he's throwing. He's like, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, and he's hitting them, and they go and kid goes, what? And he hits him with a wrench. Lucas lost it. He was dying because the guy just got hit in the head with a wrench, and he's on the ground. He's like, oh my god.
Yep, the stupid humor always gets the kids.
Yes, and then of course the all of dodgeball, all the balls being hit, guys getting hit in the face with the ball, the guys got hit in the balls with the ball. He's
See,
laughing at all that stuff.
the next step is Harold and Kumar.
No, anything that's got curse words. See, PG-13 is tough because
You can still curse in those. You
you
just
can
can't drop
curse, but it's got to
F-bombs.
be super limited. Like there's one
Yeah.
F-bomb per
Harold,
thing. You can
Harold
say
and Kumar.
shit.
Harold and Kumar also has nudity, so
Yeah, that's rated R. That's a no-go until he's at least 14.
Tropic Thunder.
Oh my god. But going back and watching these movies now, and I know Dodgeball was a little bit later, it was in the 2000s, but just going back and watching these and some of the things that they say, I'm like, definitely lived in a different time. You cannot say those things anymore.
Yep.
Like when he's talking about Justin Long, he's like, he goes to ask him a question. He's like, yeah, queer bait. I was like, oh my God. I was like,
Yep.
and I'm dying because it's just funny, because of the things that we used to say that definitely they were not nice by any means. Like I can definitely say that. But people wouldn't get offended by that. We're not offended by simple things like that because normally we're not talking to somebody who was, of that, persuasion. You were usually talking to one of your buddies and making fun of them. But your buddies didn't
Yeah.
get upset about it. But yeah, like some of the language, I was just like, yeah, I was like, can definitely tell this movie was made in the early 2000s or the 1990s because they aren't including that language in there anymore.
Yep. 100%.
And I could see my daughter's face too, like because she's growing up in this much more. I guess the best way to put it is politically correct and air, where people are more considerate of other people, which I think is a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
thing. um, you could see her face, and she's just like, I'm like, "Are you okay? Like, you enjoying the movie?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm enjoying it." And I'm like, thinking to myself, "Your face says I can't believe they're saying what they're saying right now in this movie."
Yes. 100%. Oh, absolutely. Different times.
So they got to watch Tommy Boy, but I cannot watch that one with them unless my wife is there. That is like my wife's favorite
Tommy boy.
movie. Like she can quote that. Used to be able to quote it line for line. She cannot do that anymore. But there are things like we'll quote a line from Tommy Boy, and the kids will look at us like it's a movie. We'll let you watch it. Probably my one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when they're in the hotel and Chris Farley's sleeping. And he's like David Spade's knocking on the door as the maid service. You want me fluff your pillow?
So my team plays Pat's team today,
Yeah, let's talk about something else.
and
Football.
then my team plays your team on Black Friday.
I know. Prepare to have your asses handed to you.
Uh, I mean, it's in Philly, so we don't do very well when we play in Philly.
We're getting all the calls.
Most likely. I'll be throw I'll be throwing my remote because I'm gonna get pissed about that. Um,
Speaking about football, every once in a while I get these random like videos that pop up for me about First Take. Is that what it is? Yes, First Take. Because
Stephen A. Smith,
yeah, and what's his name? The
Mad Dog.
right, right guy. No, it's not First Take. What's that show with the right guy? I can't think of
Oh,
his
Nick
first name.
Wright,
Yeah,
Nick
Nick Wright.
Wrong, Mr. Nick
Yeah,
Wrong. Yeah, that's the Fox. That's on Fox.
yeah, whatever show he's on Fox. I get
Yeah,
that.
I, whatever
That
with
dude,
him.
that dude rides Kansas City so hard.
He right.
He is
He
so, it is so terrible.
he is a coat. I'm gonna be nice. He is one of the worst sportscasters, sports personalities who talk about sports. He is the worst coat rider of teams and players in the history of I've ever seen. Like it baffles me how the people who do the show with him can legitimately sit there and listen to the stuff that comes out of his mouth. Now, listen, he's made some positive comments about Caleb Williams, but that doesn't negate all the other crap he said over the years that I've had to listen to or chose to listen to, I guess. He is just one of those guys. I think he says shit for to get attention, to get the clicks, to start controversies. Because I wonder sometimes if he really believes what he's saying. But the longer he does it, I kind of think he does. I think he enjoys being the way he is. And it
Yeah.
drives me absolutely insane. And I think that's he loves people not liking his takes. But
Well,
that dude
the
irks
new
me.
term for evidently Kansas City Chief fans is the tackle that turned the tide. Like they keep on talking about this tackle that turned the tide. I'm like, what tackle and what tide? Because you guys are 5-4. I don't know what tide you turn because it doesn't look like you've turned a tide in any way, shape, or form. Like
Just lost
five
to
and four.
Buffalo.
Oh well, if you listen to Kansas City Chief fans, that's because the refs gave them that game, and it's like, okay, are there bad calls in every single game? Absolutely.
Yep.
Are there games where teams don't commit a single penalty? Absolutely. Is that possible? Hell no. It's just not possible. It means the refs missed the ones that they should have called. And don't sit here and tell me that Josh Allen fakes it worse than Pat Mahomes because Pat Mahomes will literally get calls for his team by bitching to the refs. I've seen now there is no such I do believe in there is no such thing as a late flag. Flags are thrown when they're thrown. But if a flag is thrown after I see somebody talk to a ref and now all of a sudden there's a flag thrown for that team in favor of that team, that is a coerced flag. Maybe not a
Yeah.
late flag, but that is a coerced flag in my
Listen,
opinion. And that happens a lot. It has happened a lot for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Patrick Mahomes this recently, a couple weeks ago, did a scramble play and slid, and the player from the defense touched his shoulder right as he was sliding, and he jerked himself back like he got hit in the head.
The same
And
thing that Josh Allen did in their game against the Chiefs.
and and the defensive he got up and the defensive player looked at him was like just shook his head at him. And he looked and Mahomes looked at the ref and the ref was like, no. It was a home game, which was surprising. They didn't give him the call, but yeah.
Right. They
Yeah.
gave Josh Allen the call. They didn't give Pat Mahomes the call. Is it right or wrong? No. Neither guy should be overacting or selling the fact that somebody touched them or didn't touch them in some cases. Stop being that way. Like, I hate the theatrics of penalties now. Guys overacting stuff just to get a penalty called. Like, those things are driving me nuts. Like, if you didn't get hit, don't pretend that you did.
Well, it's the problem. They're seeing what the NBA players have copied off the soccer players, and now the NFL players are copying off the NBA players because they see what they can the calls when they, flop and over exaggerate and all that shit. So the NFL players adopted it now too, which is so fucking annoying. Specifically
Um,
the quarterbacks.
So yeah, do calls go certain teams' ways at certain times? Yes. Does it frustrate the visiting team or the other team? Hell yeah, of course it does. It frustrates fans, but it's always happened. It's nothing new. It's it's when it becomes, in my personal opinion, egregious to the point where games are decided by bad calls or favorable calls.
Yeah.
Like it should no game football, basketball, soccer, or anything like that should be made about the refs, where the refs are involved into a point where their decisions have cost a team or given a team a win or loss. Like it should never be that. And
No.
we've definitely seen that happen in any sport where the refs become the center of the attention. I saw it in one of the games that I coached. The refs called so many penalties, like we could not even get a flow to our game. That game was about the refs and what the fact that they could call whatever they wanted to at any point in time. It was the worst game I've ever coached. That game took an our games are 8-minute quarters, and that game took over an hour to play.
Hmm.
like this is not about the game of basketball. This is about the refs. So in those cases, that's not good. It should never be about what the refs on the field. You're there to enforce the rules, not to make the game about you.
Yeah, and it's there's missed calls. Just like no, my second college football team was not going to beat Clemson last night, but they had a drive that was stalled because we were in Clemson's territory. It was like 3rd down and 3. Our running back went up to the left, and the defensive player grabbed his face mask and pulled his head down. We didn't get the first down. He was like a half yard short because of it. Right in front of the ref, playing in Clemson. Did they call the face mask? Nope. They just let it go. Absolutely. Just let it go. I'm sorry. That was 2nd down and like 3. Nope. And then 3rd down, we got called for our quarterback scrambled for 26 yards to get the first down and extra yards. And they called the hands to the face by the offensive lineman. And when they showed the replay, the guy in the commentary was like, yeah, I'm not sure why that call was called.
It's
I was like,
and the
Jesus.
unfortunate thing that I think a lot of us can agree, especially us, our group here, is that there is very little accountability for professional refs, whether it's the NBA, NFL, hockey, whatever it is. There's very little accountability because the worst thing that they get is
NBA and
okay,
NFL
well,
are the worst. NHL at times can be, but they're pretty
um,
decent.
but the worst thing that happens to these referees is, oh, well, you're not going to be reffing the playoffs or you don't get a chance to ref the Super Bowl. They're just essentially not given the chance to do extra games. They still get to do all the regular season games. They don't get dock pay. They don't have sanctions or fines put against them.
No.
Their performance determines whether they get to continue reffing into the playoffs and then possibly the Super Bowl.
Yep, that's it.
What kind
From
of
what I know. Yeah.
like yeah, from everything that we know, yes. It's like, well, what kind of penalty is that? Like, if they can just call what they want to when they feel like it, that's the integrity of the game being taken away from fans and the players. More importantly, the players. It's the referees are supposed to have integrity and they call the right call as they see it, not to make up calls, not to try and reinterpret a call, a rule to make this call. Like it's like, and I'm not saying their job is easy. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they got the easiest job in the world. It's definitely not. The things that they're seeing are happening at such a fast pace that they have to make a split second decision. It's not an easy job, but there has to be some kind of accountability for them. You never hear about referees getting fired. This guy lost his job because he made 10 bad calls in the course of a season. You don't hear about them getting corrective actions and, penalized for not doing, like I said, we just don't hear about it because we, as fans of sports, there's definitely the belief that there is no accountability on the referee union to hold themselves to a higher standard.
And there should be something. There needs to be.
Well, yeah, because they expect the players to. They expect the coaches to.
Yep.
Yeah, like MLB. I mean, it's
MLB the worst.
Notorious that umpires pretty much
zones.
have jobs for like as long as they want them. Like like when they kind of forced Angel Hernandez to retire, was it this past year or the year before? It was like that was kind of amazing because Angel Hernandez was consistently rated as one of the worst umpires. Like he didn't have any respect of the players. Fans hated him left and right. But again, they can't just push them out because the umpires union is, there to protect the umpires' jobs, and it's like that's great, but it's like, and I understand that's what union is supposed to do and everything, but when you're so objectively bad at your job, and yeah, just there's still a few really lousy umpires, and there's always going to be bad umpires, and of course, we'll see how the implementation of the challenge system with the ball and strike calls works next year.
I think it's a limit. You can only do it so many times a
Yeah,
game or
you can
something
only
like
do it
that.
so many times per game, so like teams are going to have to be like kind of judicious with their challenges and everything. But yeah,
So I saw that in minor league baseball
Yep, they did it this past
2
year.
years ago, 2 seasons ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. I saw that because I didn't go to a game this year, but I saw it in minor leagues 2 years ago. So they must have tried it for 2 years down in the minor
Mhm.
leagues before they put it.
All levels.
It's interesting the way that it's done because it can come from the coach, it can come from the team manager, it can come from the catcher or the pitcher and the batter.
Yes.
So it can come from 4 different places.
Mhm.
Most of the challenges that I saw when we went to see games came from either the catcher or the batter challenging the call. And it's
Yeah.
real quick. Like it does not add much time to the game at all
No.
because it is limited. They only get so many, and it's only so many per team. So they can come from those 4 people, but it's only so many per team. And it's like a split second. Like it does not take them long to review those. So
When I went to
it's not like an NFL review for they're standing over there for like a minute and a half trying to review a play.
yeah,
It's like
no,
20, 30 seconds at the most.
when I was at Myrtle Beach and went to the Cubs single A high game, that happened twice. For both teams, they did the challenge, and it's pretty quick. Like, oh, there's a challenge, and it's a strike.
Yeah.
The call's been the call's been changed from a ball to a strike. So and listen, Angel Hernandez, wasn't he the guy who was on the first baseline who screwed up that perfect game or that no hitter?
no, that was Jim Joyce, who was consistently ranked among the best umpires before he
Oh.
retired several years ago. Now
Yeah,
he,
and
that was
he even
the
admitted to
Detroit.
making a bad call.
yeah, he admitted it.
Detroit game. Okay.
He was very obviously
Oh,
upset.
Angel was the umpire in that game. Never mind.
Angel Hernandez was the one who once threw Steve McMichael out of Wrigley Field
Yes.
because Steve McMichael was doing the "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at Wrigley that night, but before he started it, he made comments over the PA system about how horrible Angel Hernandez's calls were. And there was that shot of Angel Hernandez turning around looking at the PA box with this just completely pissed off look on his face, and he like motioned as if to say like "You're out of here," as if the umpire can throw a fucking spectator out of the goddamn stadium. But it was
Funny
like,
though.
but yeah, again, Angel Hernandez were just terrible. It's like, I'm sure, let me just do it real quick. All right, let me just
Well, yeah, because they moved him from being the umpire to like the infield crew because he was so bad with his inconsistency of balls and strikes. Like his percentage of right calls was so bad.
Yeah,
They finally
there's
moved him out.
stuff you can find on the internet here about like Angel Hernandez worst calls and everything, and
But he also he threw, was it Bryce Harper out?
well, yeah, I was gonna
Called-
say I don't know if one of you, hold on a second.
I'm pretty sure it was
Watch your stuff.
he called a go, like one of those hold back, like you can clearly see in the replay that he held back.
Yeah,
And
I
he's
don't
like,
know.
nope, it's a strike. It's an out
I
because it
don't
was a
know.
third strike.
I don't know if one of you guys would want to pull this up. There's a YouTube short on here about the top 10 worst Angel Hernandez moments.
Go for it, Joe. You know you want to do it because we can rag on him. And then this I apologize, fans. This will have to be my farewell.
Damn it, hold on.
I have many things that I must do, so I will have to bid adieu after the 10 worst moments of Angel Hernandez.
Actually, and this little thing only actually has numbers 10 through 8 on it. Hold on, let me see if there's a more full video.
Yes, we need a very full and robust video.
Yeah, is that damn it.
There's a lot that's going on.
No, because I'm trying to figure this is short, and again, like I said, it's saying top 10 worst moments of his career. And then this says like part 1, but I don't know where like parts 2 and 3 are. I'm trying to see if I can find that. But yeah, like it kind of starts with like playing the clip of the Bryce Harper one. So
Yosef, did you find it?
I found one, yeah.
oh, okay, you got to kind of keep clicking on it, I guess.
All right, so this is Angel Hernandez. He's probably behind the plate on this one. I'm gonna
And
guess.
this isn't the one I was referring to, but this will be fine. Yeah, because I
This
see
is
this
like-
as his craziest moments.
2-2. You have got to be kidding me.
Did you see
That's
how
terrible.
how
That's so far
outs-
outside.
I mean, when the announcers are completely, right away, and you look at the pitcher's face. The pitcher knows that wasn't a strike.
He was like, I just got a good one there.
Completely lost it here.
This is just bad. 3 consecutive pitches.
Like, how could you?
It's on the line of the batter's box for the left-handed batter.
This is the Harper one.
Oh, this is the one. He
said he went around.
He said he went around. You can like the replay. He's like not even close to going around.
If I was Harper, I would have threw my fucking helmet at him. I would have lost it.
It's kind of amazing in a way that Harper didn't. And you know what? Actually, I was interested by that clip. Wathan, the third base coach, then should have been walking down and restraining Harper immediately. And he turned his back to Harper and was walking back to like the coaching
He's
box.
like,
That
I'm just
was
gonna
not
let
a
him
good
go.
decision on his
I think he
part.
was afraid. Oh
Not
my
even
God.
close.
That's not even remotely close to going around.
Oh my goodness.
Horrible, dude.
Oh, I remember this one.
Strike. That thing looped in there.
It wasn't only that, but it was Torres was asking for timeout and everything. Now, of course, the umpire doesn't have to grant it to him and everything, but the pitch was also clearly not a strike.
Was more than. Let's watch his feet here. Then he stepped up, then stepped it back on, and he thought he stepped off, and he thought it was a dead pitch.
Yeah, so that was the other thing too. Like
There's
like
a low
O'Neill was Paul O'Neill was just saying there.
That's
Torres
that
saw
one
the
I'll
pitcher
give
step
him.
off the rubber.
That one I'll give you is pretty close because that's actually not as low as I think that guy thinks it is. Definitely low, but not as low as he probably thinks it is. Run out there, save your bat. He's gonna get thrown out.
I mean,
That's actually quite low.
That's
Yeah.
pretty clearly below his knee, and like the knee is supposed to be the bottom of the strike zone. So
Without Anthony Recker has been ejected from the game. Here it comes.
Angel Hernandez. Oh, here's the Schwarber one.
He thrown out of the game, and he had zero issue with getting thrown out, making it very.
It's like it's over here. It's over here. It's up here.
Kyle Schwarber. After being
I mean, when you think about it, in so many, that's oh, R.I.P. Mongo.
I'll have some speaks with that home plate umpire after the game.
Yeah, look at his face.
Would you believe that after he led the fans in song, the umpire had McMichael ejected from the ballpark? So he wasn't there to see what happened in the last of the ninth with the game tied and the Cubs having runners on first and second, one out, and pinch hitter Joe Girardi up?
Yeah, that Angel Hernandez.
Yeah,
was,
no, like you just said. Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of those guys. Unfortunately, very much wanted to make his presence known as I am the umpire, the behind the plate umpire. I'm the third base umpire. Wherever he was, he wanted people to know that he was there and that he was important. And
Right. It wasn't
it's not about you, dude.
right. It wasn't just that he was wrong, and it wasn't just that he was wrong so frequently, but he was arrogant about being wrong in the sense that he insisted he wasn't, and he clearly so clearly was. And again, like I said, there's just absolutely no accountability. Like he then, of course,
There we
said,
go. Number 2.
Ball right at the end, it just falls off the table. Davis did not make contact with it.
yeah, he swung and he missed.
Says
Which means he gets to run to first.
hit off the catcher's glove.
So Hernandez ruled that he had tipped it. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
Angel
Yeah.
Hernandez is giving Buck a lot of leeway here.
Well, third base umpire.
That ball would have deflected before it even got to the catcher's glove.
Out there.
Right, but again, he see that's the whole thing too. He couldn't see that. No umpire could have seen that, so they're going off the sound. And he heard the sound of it deflecting off the glove and thought it was the bat hitting the ball. It's like, come on, if you can't distinguish those sounds, I know they can sound similar, but there is a little bit of a difference between wood hitting ball to glove hitting ball.
Oh, very much so.
And obviously, again, it's like a split-second thing, but it's like, come on.
The fact that he missed the call to begin with has caused all this. If he doesn't miss the call, Davis is out to one away in the second, and you move on.
His front leg, Paul.
Oh, you can't do that. He moved into the ball.
Yeah, he clearly.
Then he turns his leg in. Oh, gonna get hit.
Well, I'm going to defend him. He turned his leg inwards to try to not get hit, but he did it at a specific angle where he knew he would probably still get hit,
Yeah.
which is not illegal to do. Not that aspect.
Here.
That was a very strange laugh there, Jim.
Yes,
know.
they do.
Whatever. Don't be hating on me.
But again, like I said, so he was just like arrogant about like always insisting that he was never wrong and everything. But again, there's just no accountability for the umpires. And again, so the biggest accountability that Angel Hernandez ever had is that he didn't get like postseason assignments and he never got crew chief assignments. And he contended it was because Joe Torre was in charge of that kind of stuff at the Major League Baseball offices. And he's claiming that Torre had grudges against him from when Torre was still managing for the Yankees and the Dodgers. And, so he was going out. And Hernandez then tried to sue and saying it was like racially discriminatory because he's Cuban American and everything. And of course it wasn't. It was, no, you objectively suck at your job. You don't deserve to have those positions. So, yeah. So it was so ludicrous, and he sued for it, like I said, and I'm pretty sure all those lawsuits got thrown out because they were ridiculous, and I'm pretty sure baseball could say, yeah, well, here's all the evidence of how shitty he is at his job, which is why we're not giving him promotions and blah, 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 and their comeback was, because I'm Cuban.
Yeah. It's I'm going to leave it on this. It is one of the few positions in the world that you can consistently be bad at your job and not lose your job.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Just think about that.
And see, that's what the problem is. It's like fans wouldn't complain about this stuff if there was just at least a perception of there being some level of accountability for it. But there is no perception of that because there is no apparent accountability. Not giving somebody a crew chief assignment doesn't strike one as being held accountable. It's like, you're bad at your job, so we're not going to promote you. I don't think most people would call not getting promotions a severe consequence of being bad at your job. I don't know.
All right, gentlemen.
Yeah. Well,
I've got to call it a day.
That's fine. You can call the show if you want to.
Oh, we're going to call the show?
You can call it a day. I'll call it a...
Okay. Anyway,
I'll call it
this is actually a really good spot to leave off, making fun of umpires.
I'll call it a blippity.
A blippity? Okay.
That's my new name for a day.
Okay.
I'm creating my own language here.
Okay. All right. Well, we're just gonna end the show and screw all you. No.
No, listen. This is our third episode. I promise I have all the other 2 episodes pretty much done, and I will post all of them within the next couple of days. You will have.
So by the
3
time you're seeing
episodes to
this
catch up
episode,
on.
he will already have posted the other ones for your viewing pleasure and delightment. So we want to thank everybody for watching, hanging out with us. Hopefully, our talks about all kinds of goofy stuff and interesting stuff, to us at least, was interesting to you, and you enjoyed your time with us. And we hope, as always, you finished with us.